I came to his room to satisfy him. My hands were cold, my heart was heavy, and my soul was tired. I thought it was just another night, another exchange of my respect for money. But then he asked something that changed my life forever. His name was Max. My name is Grata. I was young and poor. Hunger had stolen my dreams. I thought money was the only escape. I sold my respect to survive. Every night I cried inside. But in the morning, I wore a fake smile. My parents were sick. My little brother needed food. I told myself, this is not wrong. This is sacrifice. Yet deep in my heart, I felt broken. Every step carried shame. When I met Max, I thought it was another night. I thought it was the same story, but he was different. His eyes were calm, not cruel. He looked at me with silence. Then he asked one question, Grata, do you think money can buy peace? His voice was gentle. I froze. No one had ever asked me that before. My lips trembled. Tears burned in my eyes. I wanted to say yes, but my heart whispered no. Max kept looking at me. He was not angry, not proud, only curious. I said slowly, money feeds the body, but it kills the soul. For the first time, I spoke my truth. My voice shook, but it was real. Max did not laugh. He did not insult me. He said, then why are you killing your soul? His words hit me like fire. I had no answer. My silence was heavy. That night was not about money. It was about my life. I felt naked, not in body, but in soul. Max gave me the money without touching me. He said, find a new way. My hands shook when I held the notes. My heart was torn. I thought of my mother's medicine. I thought of my brother's hunger, but I also thought of my lost respect. I thought of the girl I used to be. That night, I walked home with heavy steps. My body was safe, but my heart was in war. Max's question echoed in my ears. Do you think money can buy peace? I could not sleep. I kept crying until the sun rose. I looked at my reflection in a broken mirror. My eyes were tired, but they wanted light. For the first time, I felt a small spark. Maybe I could change. Maybe I was not born to sell myself. Maybe I could still fight for life. My tears turned into a promise. I whispered to myself, one day, I will rise. Max was not just a stranger. He became the mirror of my broken soul. His question planted a seed in me, a seed of courage and hope. The next morning, Grata sat quietly near her window. The sun was bright, but her heart was still dark. She remembered Max's voice again and again. It felt like his words were carved inside her. Do you think money can buy peace? Echoed in her ears. She wished she could escape that question. For the first time, shame was heavier than hunger. Tears rolled down her face without permission. She thought of her mother lying weak on the bed. She thought of her brother waiting for bread. Her love for them was real, but the path she had chosen was breaking her soul. That day, she went back to the shop where Max worked. She wanted to see his eyes again. Max was surprised to see her. His voice was soft, not judgmental. She whispered, why did you ask me that question? Her hands were shaking. Max replied, because I saw pain in your eyes, not greed. His words touched her deeply. Grata lowered her head. For the first time, she felt like someone understood her pain. She said, I don't know how to change. Her voice was almost a cry. Max looked at her gently. He said, start with one small step. Stop selling your soul. His words were simple, yet they felt impossible. Grata bit her lip in silence. Max offered her water. He said, your worth is more than money. She had never heard that before. Her heart almost broke with emotion. Grata left the shop with heavy steps. But this time, hope walked with her. That night, she sat with her mother. She held her weak hands and cried silently. Her mother asked, "Why are you crying?" Grata smiled and said, "Nothing, Mama." Inside, she wanted to shout, "I want to save us, but not like this." Days passed, and she struggled with herself. Hunger returned, but so did Max's words. She was tempted to go back to her old life, but her promise held her back. One evening, she prayed for the first time in years. She begged for strength. Her prayer was full of tears, but after it, she felt lighter. She began searching for work, any work that gave dignity. People laughed at her. Some rejected her. Some insulted her past. Each rejection was a knife, but she did not give up. Max noticed her absence from the streets. He knew she was fighting inside. One day, he found her sitting near the market. She looked tired and hopeless. He gave her a small notebook. "Write your pain," he said. She opened the notebook that night. The first page carried her tears. She wrote, "I am not weak. I am searching for light." Writing became her new friend. Every word gave her courage. Grata discovered her hidden strength in silence. Her soul was still alive. Max kept encouraging her quietly. He did not save her, he guided her. Slowly, she started selling flowers at the market. It was small, but it was honest. Her hands smelled of roses, not shame. Her eyes began to shine again. She made little money, but it was clean. Each coin felt like a blessing. At night, she slept with a lighter heart. For the first time, peace touched her dreams. Grata realized change was possible. The journey was hard, but hope was harder. Grata's flower stall slowly became known in the market. People came not just for roses, but for her gentle smile. Some whispered about her past, but she stood firm, holding her dignity like a shield. Every morning she arranged fresh flowers. Their colors gave her strength. Children loved to visit her stall. She often gifted them a small flower for free. Grata's mother saw her working with pride. For the first time, hope returned to her weak eyes. Her brother laughed again after months. He helped her carry the baskets of flowers. Life was still hard, but it was honest. And honesty gave peace. Max often came to buy flowers. He never asked for discount, never bargained. He always said, "Keep going, Grata." Those words kept her alive. Slowly, Grata began to believe in herself. She was no longer the same broken girl. One evening, a rich customer recognized her. His cruel smile cut her like a knife. He whispered, "I know who you are. Flowers cannot hide your past." Her face turned pale. For a moment, shame tried to pull her back, but then she remembered Max's words. "Your worth is more than money." She raised her head and said softly, "Yes, I had a past, but today I am new." The man laughed and walked away. But inside, Grata felt stronger. That night, she cried not from weakness but from victory. She realized facing the past gave her more power. Max heard about the incident from others. He came to her stall the next morning. "I'm proud of you," he said. His eyes carried quiet respect. Grata lowered her gaze. For the first time, she felt respected by a man. Respect felt better than money. It filled her heart with fire. She began writing more in her notebook. Her words turned into small poems of pain and hope. Max read one of her poems and said, "You have a gift." She smiled shyly. She had never thought her words mattered. Soon, her poem spread in the market. People asked for her little notes with flowers. Her stall became more than a shop. It became a place of stories and emotions. Women came to her for strength. Men came to her for respect. Grata felt her wounds turning into wisdom, her shame turning into light. One day, a man offered her money to write his story. It was the first time she earned from her words. She held the notes in her hand with pride. This money smelled of dignity, not dirt. Her mother kissed her forehead that night. She said, "You are my brave girl." Grata's eyes filled with tears. She had waited her whole life for those words, but new challenges still waited for her. Life was not done testing her yet. Some people tried to pull her back. They whispered, "She will never change." Grata fought their words with silence. She let her actions speak louder. Her flower stall grew. Her poems touched more hearts. Yet deep inside, she still carried one fear. What if I fall again? Max noticed her hidden worry. He said, "Even if you fall, rise stronger." Grata nodded slowly. His words became her shield again. The girl who once sold her respect was now selling hope. But destiny had more storms to bring. Months passed, and Grata's stall turned into a small shop. Her poems were now copied and shared by many. People started calling her the flower poet. Her name was no longer linked to shame. Her past was still there, but it no longer controlled her. She wore it as proof of survival. One day, a man from the city visited her shop. He was a publisher searching for new voices. He read her poems with deep eyes. Then he asked, "Would you write a book for us?" Grata's heart stopped for a moment. Her hands trembled with both fear and joy. She whispered, "I am not a writer." He smiled and said, "Your soul is." That night, she opened her notebook. She poured her whole life onto the pages. She wrote about hunger, shame, and tears, but also about courage, light, and hope. Max read her draft with silent pride. He said, "Grata, your pain has become power." When the book was printed, she held it with shaking hands. Her name on the cover felt unreal. People from many places came to meet her. They saw not her past, but her wisdom. Women in pain found courage in her words. Men in despair found light in her story. Her little brother carried her book to school. He said proudly, "This is my sister." Grata's mother held her and wept. She said, "I prayed for this day, my child." Grata closed her eyes. The girl who once sold respect now sold hope to the world. But life tested her one more time. A man from her past returned. He tried to mock her again. "I remember the nights you begged for money." For a moment, her heart shook. Old wounds whispered in her ears. Then she looked him straight in the eyes. She said, "Yes, I was broken, but I rose." Her voice was calm but strong. The man had no words to answer. People around heard her words. They clapped and stood beside her. In that moment, Grata was free forever. Her past lost all its chains. She returned home that night with tears of strength. She touched her book and whispered thanks. Max came to see her again. His eyes were filled with respect. "You saved yourself," he said. "That is the greatest victory." Grata smiled softly. She said, "You planted the first seed with one question." Max nodded with warmth. "But you watered it with courage." From that day, she gave talks to young girls. She told them, "Never sell your respect, even in hunger." Her words became lessons. Her story became a shield for many. She built a home for her family. Their nights of hunger ended forever. Grata walked through the market with pride. People bowed their heads with respect. She was once a symbol of shame. Now she was a symbol of light. Max remained her true friend. He was always there, not as a savior but as a guide. Grata looked at the sky one evening. She whispered, "Peace is not bought, it is earned." Her journey was full of pain, but it ended with dignity, hope, and love.